Hello and welcome all, my name is Harsh and you're watching pu-erh, and I'm back with yet another interesting video. So today's video is about all about tea. So I know that some of you must be knowing about tea, but I don't think that you'll be knowing in deep about tea. So I've got some content with me so that you get to know tea much in better sense, and so I'll be starting with the tea today. So what all information do you have about tea? Like in India, most of the regions, like most of 99% of the people drink tea adding milk, but it was not that way in the beginning. It was the tea was not actually drunk with the addition of milk. Rather, it was just was being drunk as a normal concoction. So I'll just take your time for this, and I'll start with the history and origin of the tea. So it was basically not invented, discovered by accident over 5,000 years ago, and there was a story that the tea was discovered accidentally 5,000 years ago when leaves from a tea bush accidentally dropped into some boiling water and delicately flavored the liquid. So the earlier man used to drink tea as a medicinal with it because of its medicinal properties, and it was not until 1700s that it began to be consumed as a delicious beverage that we know today. So originally it is I have mentioned that it was drunk as a medicine and started being accepted as a beverage around 1700s in China, and came into influence in Japan after China in 13th century, and it became so popular among the Japanese that tea became a part of their culture by the end of the 15th century, and even in nowadays too, the Chinese and the Japanese have certain ceremonies related to tea. So they treat tea as a very auspicious thing, and they all the ceremonies is not fulfilled or not completed without the tea ceremony. So tea is a very auspicious part of their culture, and so on the next point is it became so popular that it was one of those items that were in big demand among the traders of different countries. So the tea was so popular in the West that it became popular in the West. The rumors came that there is something the Chinese or the Eastern people drink as a beverage. So it became popular in there, and the Western countries started to import tea around mid 17th century, and they liked it very much. So in the next slide, I would show you a Chinese who is preparing, sorry, a Japanese preparing in the traditional dress. She's preparing a tea for the tea ceremony, and next in the next slide, I would show you that a Chinese is preparing tea for the tea ceremony. So both the tea ceremonies are they have their own cultural values, and they have interpreted it in their own styles. So yes, in the next slide, this just tea plant. Our yeah, this is the tea plant, and how it looks like. And in the upcoming slides, I will also tell you more about the tea and the tea plants. Next is the properties. Where the tea gets its properties from, like what are its properties. More about tell you about tea. Is rumors of tea went in the Western countries in around 16th century. As I told you that the imported start in the mid 17th century, and but in Britain, the central drink afterwards. It is the reason why Britishers take their tea very seriously. If you go to British countries like Wales and England, they too consider the tea very like part of their lives, and it has a major influence on the British Islands. So properties of tea, yeah. So properties of tea. All the tea is derived from. There are several varieties of tea, but they all derive from a species of Camellia sinensis. So there is a plant, or there's a parent plant, Camellia sinensis, and all the major teas which you know are from this only plant. Therefore, this only species, and if there is any other species than the Camellia sinensis, it's not considered as tea. So Camellia sinensis is the parent species or plant, you can say, for the teas. And tea is as you know, tea is a stimulating drink. It has stimulants in it, and it stimulates the body, and it is regarded as a healthy beverage, as it contains half the amount of caffeine as in the coffee. Like if you take 10 grams of coffee and 10 grams of tea, so the tea content has half the amount of caffeine in the coffee. If the coffee has 1 milligram of caffeine, the tea has zero point 0.5 milligram of caffeine in 10 grams. So it aids max muscle relaxation and stimulates the central nervous system. So like everybody in India also drinks tea and has tea whenever they are tired, so that their nervous system responds start to respond, and it's very much aiding to the muscles. Tea was originally recommended for its effects on health. It is known to contain substances like phenols, polyphenols, caffeine, amino acids, vitamins, and catechins. Catechins are basically, you can say, that tannins which are present in the tea. So like if you like when you take a grape skin, only the grape skin, and just you chew, and you will feel some dry in the mouth, if dryness in the mouth, that's the tannins. That's the tannins working in your mouth, which so yeah, tannins which kill waterborne bacteria. So tea was originally recommended as a healthy beverage, and it had effects on his health. Next is the level of oxidation determines the tea type. So the more amount of oxidation the tea has, the different flavors it will acquire. And there are only five main types of tea. I'll explain it in the upcoming slides. There are only five main types of tea. The name of the tea is determined by its place they are grown in. Like you must have heard of different types of tea and different names of the tea. So they all have their names from the regions they came from. And if there is another plant, like I told you before also, that if there is another plant other than Camellia sinensis that is not considered as a tea, only Camellia sinensis and its derivative or byproducts are considered as tea. So I'll get to a next slide, and I'll get back to the tea. What are the types of tea? There are mainly five types of tea. First is white tea. It is made from unoxidized leaf buds and is the least processed of all teas. So you can see that here the leaves of the tea are somewhat white in color, and there are least processed of all the teas, all the five types of teas, and its color is white. I'll show you in the next slide the zoomed picture of it. Yeah, so this is the white tea, you can see that. And the next type of tea is green tea, as you must be hearing that it helps in reducing belly fat, and you have heard the different brands which sell the green tea. So green tea is made of it is made of leaves that have been allowed to wither, like, or wane or weaken. I've mentioned here slightly after being picked. Like if you pick the leaves and just leave them over to wane, and it just oxidizes there, and is then stopped quickly through rapid heating, and then the oxidization is stopped by rapid heating. So That's the green tea, and in the next slide I'll show you the zoom picture. And next you have oolong tea, and it's made from partially oxidized leaves, and the leaves are tossed in bamboo baskets to lightly bruised in the edges so that the outer parts of the leaves are oxidized while the center is left green. So when you see that, why they are bruised, why they are bruised in the edges, to get their uh, edges break their edges, and to bruise them to get their flavors much more maturely. When you oxidize the bruised leaves, you'll get the much more mature flavor, much more what you can say, much more, yeah, very different flavors. So next is black tea. I'll show you the zoom picture of the oolong tea. You can see that the leaves are very different from the leaves of white and green tea. Next we have the black tea, and it's made from the fully oxidized tea leaves. The leaves are first withered, then rolled in exposed leaves oil, and maximize the oxidation. So they are, and it's made from fully oxidized tea leaves. So the teas are fully oxidized and rolled to the exposed leaf oils, and maximize the oxidation. So as you say that the oxidation process has the effect on of its taste. Like the more the oxidation, the different the flavors, the more the processing, the different the flavors. So here is the zoom picture of the black tea. You can see that it's fully oxidized, the color has changed severely. And we'll move next to next tea. Next tea is the pu-erh tea. You can just check the pronunciation, it's pu-erh. So pu-erh tea is, it's made from fully oxidized leaves that are aged for some time equal to or more than 50 years. So you can just imagine that you were just known to the fact that you only have tea. You can put it in a pot and boil some water, add some sugar, or drink it the way you like, adding some milk. But there are teas who are like aged just like the alcohol, you just the wine. So it's aged for 50 years or so, or more than 50 years. And it can be like, I'll show you the zoom picture of it. Poor 350 or more years it's aged. So you can see that it can be packaged as a round brick or in bamboo sticks, as you can see here. Next we have the tea and tea leaves. Here you can see the different types of white tea and their shapes, and the green tea and their shapes, oolong tea and their shapes, black tea, pu-erh tea. And next in the next slide I have the tea grading. What is tea grading? You must be not familiar with this. Some might be familiar with this, but most of the people, I guess, they don't know the tea grading. So it's Pecco. First grade is the Pecco, and Pecco, I would tell you that what is Pecco. In the upcoming slides, I'll show you the different parts of the tea plant. So Pecco is the delicate top leaves. The maybe you can say the buds are known as Pecco. The top most leaves are known as Pecco, and they are very delicate and uh, very delicate top leaves, and the buds are known as Pecco. The next comes the orange Pecco. A rolled leaf with a slim appearance is known as the orange Pecco. Next we have the Pecco dust, the smallest particle of leaf size. Pecco dust was, you can also say that Pecco dust is fannings are also, I'll just come there. So between these grades lies the set of grades known as fannings, and it is of the lowest quality as known as dust. So you can see that the dust particle of the tea is known as fannings. I've just you can I've made it in the bold letters so that you don't have to figure it out where is that. So fannings is known as the dust of the tea. And you must be have heard of the second flush, first flush, third flush. So the flush refers to the picking, which can happen multiple times during the year. So if the tea leaves have been picked first time, it's known as the first flush. If it is picked second time, it's known as the second flush, and so on. Next we have the tisanes. So that's great. What are tisanes? What do you know about tisanes? So tisanes are this is a major part of the tea. It's also known as herbal teas, and they're a major part of tea world, but they don't are teas. They don't technically are trees. Why is that? Because what is common referred to as herbal tea or tisanes is actually an infusion or decoction made from the plant other than camellia sinensis. So here is comes the major part. Like I was telling you that other than camellia sinensis, none other plant is can be called as tea. But here the plant uh, parts are used. Like for this reason, the trend was the use of terms like tisanes, botanical or infusion. Tisanes are caffeine free and can be served hot or cold. Herbal teas have the long history dating back to ancient China and Egypt, where tisanes were drunk both enjoyment and medicinal purposes. So, what are tisanes? Tisanes basically are different parts of the plant, like flowers. I'll come in the next slides maybe. They are not technically teas, yes, and infusion or decoction made from the plant other than camellia sinensis. And next comes the types of tea. So categories by what part of the plant they come from, is categorized by that. And some examples I have written here: this leaf tisanes, I mean flower tisanes, bark tisanes, root tisanes, fruit berry tisanes, seed spice tisanes. So you can just check it out, which comes under what, and so on. Next is the picture of different types of tisanes and what's the color of it. So it's high in antioxidants. The tisanes are high in antioxidants. Some tisanes are made from a blend of plant type or from multiple parts of the same plant. Occasionally, tisanes are made from moss, stems, or other plants. And this kombucha is it's a plant. It's often classified as tisane, but it's technically a symbiotic colony of yeast and bacteria. And tisanes may also be classified as medicinal or not, while many tisanes are high in antioxidants and nutrients. Some have long histories of medical use, others are typically consumed for simple enjoyment or detox teas, a popular category of medicinal tisanes. So these are popular category of medical tisanes. I have made yet another presentation on tea and its terms and different terms in use in the tea industry, or you must not be familiar with the uh, tea terms. So I have made a presentation regarding that also. So that will be helpful for to know this presentation much better. So I would request you to check that also. And I hope you like the information I am providing, and I hope you like the information so that you can know the things better and understand it better. So thank you very much for watching it in the end, and I hope you enjoyed my content. And if you have any questions or suggestions regarding my content or my channel or anything else you want to share, you are free to do that. And I'll post the links below, all the social media links below, and you can comment and you can like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that I can make more and more informative videos for you. Thank you very much. Love and peace to all.